What's up guys, DJ back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about when to sell your Pokemon investments. When is the right time? Nobody really ever knows. Nobody can see into the future and say that is the highest price it's ever going to be. But, you know, at the end of the day, we bought these things with the intent to sell later down the track. And I'm going to try to help you guys think about that. Think about, is it the right time to sell now? Think about perspective, and I'll give you some examples, a few scenarios and ways to think about it. We'll also talk about the whole need the money, want the money, and what are your plans with, you know, why are you selling this? Why do you need to sell it? Or why do you want to sell it? So we're going to talk about all of that in today's video. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So let's start off with the question, why do you want to sell? Okay, so obviously, if this is truly an investment and not a collection piece, we already answered that question, right? Why do you want to sell? You bought that with the intent to sell, you know? But in this game, it gets a little confusing because some collection items become some sort of an investment piece because they rise in value. And we kind of really ignore that, you know? It's getting, you know, I've got plenty of people who come up to me and ask me about these things where, you know, I bought this because I wanted it. It's part of my collection, but now it's risen so much. Is it crazy to just sell it because, you know, the money's good? True. All right. So, I mean, if you bought that as a collection piece, that's when it gets a bit tough to sell because that connection that you have with it. But investments are made to be sold later down the line. So it's whether you're going to sell it now, in 10 months time, in 5 years time, in 10 years time. You got to make that decision for yourself. And I might add that try not to feel pressured by anybody else about selling things. So a few examples on that. Evolution's booster boxes gone up in price. We all know this. So going right now is like $700 AUD. I bought mine for $150. It seems like a good move to sell right now. Like, you know, I can make triple my money, but I'm going to hold on and wait. All right. So, you know, that's my call. You know, it's a bit of a gambling, a bit of a risk thing, but that's what I want to do. That's what I, you know, believe in, that I think it can grow further. That's just, you know, that's my prediction. So I'm not going to let someone else tell me, you know, you should really, you know, sell all your stuff now and then boom, 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 get the money and reinvest somewhere else, because that's not what I want to do. So at the end of the day, decide what you want to do. Do you really want to sell this item, or do you not? And you're just fantasizing about the money, you know? And we all like to do that. We all like to fantasize about, ooh, with this amount of money, I can buy this, this, and this. So that's going to lead into, do I need the money or do I want the money? And that is why we intend to sell these things. For investments, you know, we're always thinking about the money. We're always thinking about the dollars. We're thinking about going up. So, and we want to capitalize on that. We want to get the most money we can. So people say the longer you wait, generally you make more, but it's not a bad move to go short term or flip either. I was speaking to a guy just recently. He was talking about the Vivid Voltage pre-release decks that he bought, all pre-ordered. He bought, I think, 8. Right, he bought 8 and flipped them within 2 days, sold them for a profit. I think he was selling for $85 each when he got them for maybe like $40, $30. So, you know, that's great profit real quick. You know, that's fast money. Within 2 days, he would have made quite a big amount of profit. And then he just bought another 10 of those. And then I believe he's got the intent to do the same thing. And, you know, that is not a bad thing. You know, that is the flipping kind of mentality. And I know a lot of people don't really like that, but you know, that is like, today I have $50, tomorrow I have $150, you know, that's that kind of mindset. And with that $150, that could buy you more things to put towards collection or further investment. So honestly speaking, I don't think that is a bad idea. Now, obviously that guy intended to do that, you know, so he imagined all of that. You know, I'm going to buy this today, I'm going to sell this for this much tomorrow, and then what I'm going to do with that money is put it back into this. So if you have a plan on why you're selling this thing, like, so if you have something you want to sell, do you have any plans at all with the money? Do you need that money for other things, all right? So need and want, I know, very different words, and we just really use them in everyday casual, conversations. I need that car. I need that house. I want new shoes. I want a new shirt, all right? So I think we all know the definition. I don't really want to, bore you guys with that, but it's really important to distinguish the difference between the two, needs and wants, and that can really change why you want to sell this thing, or that if you should sell this thing, because at the end of the day, right, need is something you can't put off. That's what you got to think about, right? You got to think about it like that. So maybe my dog is sick. He needs to go to the vet. I need to pay for vet bills. I can't put that off. I need to do that. Otherwise, my dog dies, and I don't want my dog to die, right? Pure example, guys. I love my dog. So if you need the money, and let's say you sold this card, and that will give you the money to pay for that thing, all right? That is more of a need. You need to do that in order for your dog to survive. Or I need to do that to pay for my medical bills or for my new glasses that I can't afford right now unless I sell this card. So I need the money, and that is why I'm going to sell this card, right? So that's something you can't put off. But with want, I feel like you can always put off. You can always hold on that, right? So I want the new PlayStation. I want the new Xbox coming out, right? So if I want those things, do I need to sell this card to get that? The answer is no. You don't need to sell that card. You want to sell that card. You want to sell it to get that something else, right? So in a way, you're doing a trade, right? Let's say take the money out of the equation. Would you rather that Xbox or that PSA 10 blah blah Blastoise, all right? Do you want that, or do you want the Xbox? So you got to ask yourself that question, and then think about it. Will you ever get that card back again? How much do you like that card? How much do you want it? Did you actually buy that for an investment? Did you plan on selling that again, or has it just risen in value in your collection? And you really love that card, but you're looking at the money and like, ooh, I could buy something else. Now, with that scenario, it happens a lot. You see a lot of Facebook posts and sellers posting, I'm trying to find another purchase. I'm selling these cards. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So that is something you got to think about between distinguish need and want. If you need something, by all means, you need it, you got to sell it. And then don't get confused with I need that Xbox, I need that PlayStation, because we all know you technically do not really need it. And the thing is, with those wants, there's always a way to get them later down the line. I know we all want the things really fast. We want Champions Pass right now. We want the newest phone, iPhone 12, 50, iPhone 50 or whatever, straight away, right now. It's the newest thing. I want it right now. The thing is, in a year's time, that's going to be old news. In a year's time, that PlayStation is going to be old news. In 6 months' time, the PlayStation might be cheaper, all right? In 6 months' time, your card that you just sold is probably more expensive. Probably. We don't know if the price is going to continue, but we've seen that recently, of course. Prices are just going crazy. Sometimes prices like Evolution's booster boxes, 1 week was $250, the next week it's $700. That's just like, imagine selling your Evolution's booster box before that price bump. That's how it's going to feel, all right? Yes, you bought some things for investment. Yes, you planned on selling them, but sometimes you got to think a bit more clearly with that thing. Do you want that something else, or do you need something else, all right? And with the want, you can always strategically save for that without selling your cards if you don't need to, or don't buy any more cards until you save up for that something else. Wouldn't you rather that than lose the card that you're going to sell? Unless, all right, because this is all about Pokemon investments, right? You actually invested in that, and it's time to cash in because you got the profit. Coolios, if you got profit on whatever investment it is, that is honestly not a bad move. I know people are regretting their sales for PSA 9 Charizards or PSA 10 Charizards or whatever it is because they rose even more. But did you actually lose money at all? Tell me now. Did you really lose money? Because from what I know, you bought that card or you graded that card for a lot cheaper than what you sold it for. So you still made money. And that's the whole point of investing, guys. If you're investing and you're making money, that is the point. I know people are saying last year, I sold this for $500. Now it's worth $5,000. Who was to know that was going to be worth $5,000, A? And two, you probably needed that money for something else. So it's never a bad move, guys. I know it sounds weird. How is it never a bad move? I sold my booster box last year for $1,000. Now it's worth $20,000. Oh, I wish I had it. But at that time, you decided to sell, and that was the right time for you. So if it's the right time to sell for you in your mind, because you justified it with all the things, maybe you needed something, maybe you wanted something, then who's to, I try to say, don't live with regrets, regretting stuff, because then you just keep thinking about it, and it just ruins your mind, right? So I try to, before I sell anything, I am more of a collector. I just want to point that out, guys. I rarely sell stuff, or if I sell stuff, I probably have doubles of that, or I have triples or quadruples. So I don't really sell that much stuff, to be honest. I know the process and all that, but I like to keep things. So what my wife would usually say as well. So I like to keep things, but that way I actually see the potential of these cards that I have, or the boxes that I have, grow in time. So right now I want to go through some perspectives, how to think about things. So if you invested in, let's say, sealed booster boxes, okay? I've got a friend, he's got a base set booster box, all right? He knows who he is. He's asked me, all right, should I sell my base set booster box? Because you know what? $25,000, that's how much it is right now. That is not chump change, guys. That is life-changing money. I know it's not millions of dollars, but it's still life-changing money. $25,000 can buy a lot of things, guys. And you just got one box, and I think he bought that box for like $5,000, all right? So he is like 5 timesing his money, if that's a thing, He's making money. He's not losing, all right? The only loss is if he doesn't wait any longer and that price increases, okay? He's not in a rush to sell, all right? He doesn't need the money. Does he want the money? Of course he does. Everybody wants the money, okay? Here's a way to think about it, all right? If you have a booster box and it's risen in value, not necessarily that much, all right? But let's say it's risen in value. If you have cards, like let's say you're a binder collector as well, and you have those cards in your binder, why do you need the box? Why do you need it? You want it. Yeah, of course, you want the box. You want the display. You want to look at it, all right? But you have, let's say you have the complete set of jungle, and you have a jungle booster box, and you're thinking about selling it or not, and you're thinking about finances. Maybe I could buy something else with this or whatever like that. If you don't really have a plan, I suggest you do not sell that thing unless you have a plan, all right? But perspective-wise, if you have all the cards in that set, you don't really need to open that box and get the cards out of it because you already have all the cards. So you don't need it. In a way, you have that jungle booster box in your collection, in the cards, all right? And that box is just an extra, right? So I'll give another example. My PSA 10 Venusaur, Ivysaur, Bulbasaur. That was, I think, one of my first biggest purchases in Pokemon. And that was, as an investment, I plan to sell that later down the line, right? I paid $350 for those 3 cards. PSA 10, Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur. Okay? I didn't sell. I saw a sold listing for Venusaur, PSA 10, just the Venusaur by itself, for $7,000. Okay? So, yeah, I looked at that. I'm like, hey, I only paid $350 for these 3 cards, and I could potentially get $7,000. Now, granted, a couple weeks ago, I was contemplating on selling it for like $2,000 to $3,000 because that was the going rate. And I'm not saying the going rate is $7,000 right now. There was only one sold listing. I don't even know if it's true or not. But, that makes me wonder, do I need these cards anymore? I've had them for a while. They're PSA 10. I can get the money and buy so much more things with it. So much things that I want. So much things, do I need? Not really. More so want. But I could sell that and capitalize, right? And the thing is, I look at it as, I don't really need it because I have Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur in my base set binder, all right? I have a binder. I have those cards already, technically, all right? These are just PSA 10 versions, all right? Nothing too big, okay? But seriously, they're just graded forms of what I already have, okay? So if I sold them, if I sold the ones from the binder, I'd get a lot less. If I sold those ones, I can get a lot more. So clearly, I don't really need to have them. It's nice to have them, but like I said, I bought them with the intent to sell later. Did I plan to sell a year's time, 2 years' time? No, I honestly didn't really know when I was going to sell, but I did make a video ages ago about not selling anything for like 20 plus years with Pokemon and see where it takes me. And I've already strayed from that. I have sold some things along the way. Not a lot, but I have sold things. So what I'm trying to say, guys, sometimes plans don't always work out. And if you want to sell, you sell. If you don't want to sell, don't sell, okay? The thing is, you got to be okay with the decision and try not to live with any regrets about it, okay? I know we like to reminisce about what you used to have and what you sold it for, how much, and what did you get instead. That was the initial price, all right? Not the money, but what did you get instead? If somebody gave me $500 for one card and I bought, I don't know, my piano lessons for my son. I don't really have a son, and I don't have, I'm not thinking about sending him to piano lessons. But if that was the case, $500 for one card, that's where it went. If that card rose in value the next following years to $1,000, I'm not going to be like, oh, I missed out on $500. No, I'm going to be like, well, my son knows piano now. You traded that for the piano lessons, not really $500. The $500 got you the piano lessons, but that's what you got instead. Now, I know. This is Pokemon investing. All right. So, whatever you're thinking about selling, ask yourself these things. Do I need it? Do I want it? Would I be sad if I didn't have it anymore? If that's the case, if you were sad that you sold something, chances are that was probably not an investment. That was more of a collection piece. And I know it's getting really confusing here because this is not straight up shares or bonds. This is cards that you probably loved or probably you collected, and they only became kind of investments because they rose in value. But is that really an investment if it just rose in value, but you didn't buy it for that purpose? All right, guys? So you bought cards because you collected them. You wanted them. You didn't buy them because you're like, I'm going to sell this one day. I'm going to make millions. No, that wasn't the point. But, there was a transition in my career in Pokemon, all right? So where I was collecting sets, I was collecting stuff, right? And then I thought about investing, all right? That's why I started all these videos and stuff. But with the investing, I actually bought things purposely to sell later. So that way I'm not really too attached to it. Now, some things I have grown attached to, they were meant to be investments, but then they confused. And that happens, guys. That happens. And that's why it's hard to make a decision on when is the right time to sell. This is my answer for you guys, all right? You make the decision. Don't let people say, it's a good time to sell. Oh, never sell that. Don't sell that. Oh, you'd be crazy to sell that. Because you know what? It's easy to be on the other side, all right? I could tell my friend, sell that. $25,000 for your base set booster box. Definitely sell that. That's a lot of money, all right? It's different because I'm not in his shoes. I don't have that base set booster box. I don't know what he's feeling. I don't know what he wants to do with it. And that is his decision. I will never be like, you should do that, all right? And people will do that because that's what people do, okay? So what I'm trying to say is be okay with your decision. Ask yourself these questions before you decide to sell. And ask yourself, should I wait longer because it could make more money? And is that what you want? Do you want more money than what you're already getting? Evolution's booster boxes, that's 3 times what I paid. Am I that greedy? Do I want another 10 more? Do I want to quadruple my money or something like that? Everybody wants money, but the thing is, there will come a point where you're like, that's enough. 3 times double my money is enough, okay? And what I could do with that, I already made a profit. I'm not really a business. This is just me buying something and then selling it later down the line for more than what I paid, all right? And then I'm going to use that money to buy something else that I want or I need, okay? And what I try to say with the wants all the time, you can put that off if you want to. If you're strong enough up here, patient enough, you don't need to buy that new PlayStation. You don't need to buy that new shirt or skirt or pants or shoes, all right? I mean, if you don't have any clothes, then you probably need to. That was kind of a bad example. But what I'm trying to say is, if you need something, by all means, feel free to do it. You know, that's a need. But you got to distinguish between the two, and you got to, you know, make your choice. Don't let anybody tell you or force you to not sell or to sell. All right. When you know right here, in here, and in here, when the right time is to sell, guys. You got to listen to those things. Listen to your gut. Even if my only suggestion is do not sell something at a loss, especially an investment in Pokemon. All right. If you bought something for $5, don't sell it for less than $5. I would never do that. Personally, I would never do that. But I have seen people sell at a loss, and it's just not really healthy, to be honest. Especially if it's bought purposely for an investment. If it's a collection piece, you pay, you know, X amount and you're losing money on it. You didn't buy that to, you know, make money on it. You bought that and now you don't want it, you sell it. All right. That's different. Okay. It's kind of like a car. You buy a car, they usually devalue over time. They don't really increase in value. Most cars. Okay. So you didn't buy that to invest in it. You bought that to drive, to use it. And then now you don't want it. You sell it at a loss. And that's normal. That is fine. Okay. But if this is an investment, okay, this is something you invested in, you want to make money out of it. That's all I really want to say, guys. So let me know your questions down below if you have any. Hopefully I shared enough information on what you should do when you're about to sell something, especially investments. I know I dived into collection pieces as well, but that's because in this hobby, everybody is kind of doing a bit of both and getting confused a little bit with that collection piece and that investment piece. It's hard to distinguish between the two sometimes, especially if you didn't purposely buy something as an investment. You bought it for a collection piece more, but then it's just, whoop, this is an investment now, or, you know. But that's all I have. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts, and I'll see you guys next time, 2 to 3 days time. Bye. Boop.